Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sheridan Harris. I'm the sales team lead with Broadview Academy, which is our training division of Broadview Networks. And with us this morning is Jordan Bissonette, who is a solutions analyst with Broadview Networks. And we're going to be talking today about how data analysis can improve your competitiveness. A little bit of background, our parent company, Broadview Networks, focuses on improving productivity through technology, and Broadview Academy focuses on helping train people to use their technology. So I'm going to share a few Teams tips with you here. Jordan, if you could advance the screen, please. And just before we get started, did everybody receive their skip the dishes cards to treat yourself to a coffee? If you do have any issues with your cards, please reach out to us after the webinar and we can help you out with that. Hopefully everybody can enjoy a nice treat while watching our webinar. So a few Teams tips, feel free to use the chat window or the live reactions. You can raise your hand if you have a question, or you can type your question into the chat. Also, we will be allowing some time at the end of the webinar for some questions and answers. Since we're only together for about 30 minutes today, if we do run out of time, please feel free to reach out to us after the webinar via email or phone call. We'd be happy to have a conversation about any questions you may have. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn it over to Jordan to talk to us about business automation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, Sheridan as Sheridan mentioned, my name is Jordan Bissonette. I'm a solutions analyst here, and my role really here at Broadview is focused on helping our clients with the productivity side of the Microsoft tools. So mostly focusing on Teams, SharePoint, and then the other tools that are part of the Power Platform. Now, before we start, I just wanted to highlight some of the tools here that we'll be talking about today. And the great part is that most of these tools are likely ones that you already own as part of your current licensing. So there's no additional licensing costs to start using these tools, and then to start getting direct benefits from these tools and all the great things they can be doing for you. Some of the case studies I'll go through today. Now, we probably won't have time to get through all of these, but just a few examples here is using these different tools for things like safety and incident tracking, reporting, creating different power apps for inventory and calibration tracking, and then a few other examples there as well. And these tools here are these solutions that were provided were all between $1,000 and $5,000. So many of these solutions are very small and can be tackled in manageable pieces. It's not these massive $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 $30,000 projects. They can really be implemented quickly, where you could start getting your return on investment very, very quickly without it being a large, never-ending project. So the first case study here is for Bothwell Cheese, and their main requirement was to have a better method to track safety incidents, and to replace existing paper forms and Excel sheets with a better process that allows for reporting and just really getting rid of that inefficient paper process. Now, sorry, my thing here. So the solution was to create a SharePoint list along with a electronic form, created some Power BI reports to provide better better reporting, real-time reporting, be able to trend on things, and then also using a tool like Flow to create alerts, reminders, and follow-ups so that people can stay on top of all of these different safety incidents. Now, when we look at a paper form, or really even filling out a Word document or a PDF document, there's a lot of issues with that. Is the information is not consistent, it can't be easily searched, can't be easily found, and then there's also just the human error aspect of having someone try to determine what someone wrote on a piece of paper and then manually type that into an Excel spreadsheet so that you can at least now a little bit track it and report it. And there's just a lot of time wasting there as well. So here's an example of a SharePoint list that is now, when a form gets filled out, it's now populating a SharePoint list, which now functions as a more proper database. And now we have this information digitally from the start, where we can now start viewing, sorting, grouping this information. We could look at it in a calendar view. So now your monthly safety meetings with your safety committee become a lot simpler. If you're having, in this case, a meeting for the month of November, you just look, you click on every incident, you see the information there, you see the follow-ups. It's just all in one place. You're not looking in a binder for a bunch of different pieces of paper, wondering if some of them were missed. And then to take that one step further, leveraging a tool like Power BI, now that we have clean data and data that's actually being entered into a list, we can now start producing real-time reports and dashboards. So no one is spending hours every month preparing this. And really, one of the biggest drawbacks of someone manually creating these reports, other than the obvious time wasting aspect of it, is that this data isn't real time. So instead of using this data and these reports to kind of help you with decisions throughout the month or the year, or really on a daily basis, if you're only seeing this information once a month, or once a quarter, or once a year, when that person is actually creating these reports, it now really limits it really limits you into being able to act accordingly. Whereas, had you seen some of these trends, you may have already made some changes, instead of now 3 months in the future being like, oh, it would have been nice to know this a month ago. We would have already changed this process, for example. And then this is just showing a very basic example of how you can start using Microsoft Flow or Power Automate to create specific alerts. So now we can have automatic reminders going to the safety officer or going to the manager of when a new incident is entered. In this scenario too, there's then a follow-up reminder 2 weeks after the incident to let them know, to make sure they've kind of closed that incident with kind of any additional details there. So once again, it's there's a bunch of different tools working together, and since they're all part of the Microsoft family, they're all really made to be able to talk nicely. They all work nicely together, and then it's really just in the spirit to not waste your time creating things, following up on things. It's all just there for you. Now, this example I showed here was focused on doing this for a safety incident, but there's kind of a limitless areas where this can apply, right? It might be you might want a better way to track quality issues or maintenance and service requests or a change request process as part of a big project you're working on, or little sheets that you need contractors to sign when they show up to your factory. You need them to sign in or to sign off that they did a safety orientation, or kind of a kind of a checklist that they had to walk through. Whenever there's whenever there is paper forms being used, it really limits the ability to be able to properly report on these things, track these things. And then just to kind of um, to mention once again, is many of these solutions are very small, and it's not a big endeavor to implement these, and then they can be slowly expanded upon over months or years. So you might not need the reporting right away, and that might be the a next phase of something. But it's very easy to keep expanding these solutions. So before I go to the next case study here, I'll just make sure there's no questions or hands raised. Nope. Okay, I'll keep going. This next example here is for Hydro International, and they have a um, high voltage test lab, and so they needed a solution to help them track all of the equipment, but then also be able to easily track on when that equipment was last serviced or last certified or calibrated, being able to find the related manuals to that particular piece of equipment. And then they also needed a solution that was required so that they can access it from their phone or from a tablet. So the solution is that a, a phone app using Power Apps was built to track the, the the equipment detail, and then there was also using Flow some reminders so that you would get reminded of when a warranty is about to expire, or a certification is about to expire. They needed to be able to search that equipment, and then they needed to be able to easily find all the manuals. So this this was a combination of using SharePoint lists and libraries to make this solution. And in this case, really the information is all sitting somewhere, right? It's in a bunch of Excel sheets. You might have manuals scattered all over the place. Some are in network drives, some are in folders. So it's not that this information isn't theoretically available, it's just not easily accessible. So having one app where it brings together all of this information for you, that's where you could really start to maximize your time and not waste time trying to find these things. So here's just the example. Really a very basic app that you would load from your phone, search a piece of equipment, get some additional details. When does the warranty expire? When does the calibration expire? And then once again, being able to click to go see the calibration history, to go see all the manuals. This is all just now in one place. Now there's this one particular solution didn't have reporting, but really on any of these, once this information is there, if you want to start reporting on this, creating dashboards on this, it's all at that point very doable, now that that information is sitting inside of a SharePoint list or a SharePoint library. Using a tool like Power BI, you can start to report on this stuff as well. And I think this will probably be the last example I talk about for today, but this is a really great example of showing the power of Power BI, where it kind of shows the different things you can do with it. So this example here is for one of our partners, and they do security monitoring for some of our clients, and as part of that, they have to produce monthly or quarterly reports for those clients to give them kind of a recap of all the different things that it found. Now, currently, this was a very manual process. There was a 500-page reference document that they had to follow to create every single report because there was so much different steps involved, exporting from um, different firewalls, combining the data, transforming the data. It was all being done in Excel spreadsheets, and since it's such a long, kind of tedious process, there was a lot of risk for human error, right? As you're just clicking and copy pasting and moving things around, it's kind of inevitable that things may get missed. So the solution was really uh, leveraging Power BI and really automating that whole process. Where now the only thing they had to do was drag and drop the CSV and the Excel file exports into a folder. From there, Power BI did the rest. It was able to automatically scan that information, transform that information, and now the clients also can be given live access to those reports. Those reports can be shared directly with the client instead of them seeing a kind of static PDF export of those Excel reports once every 3 months. And in this scenario, the time that it took to generate one report went from 5 hours to 15 minutes. So if you have 10 or 15 of these to do every quarter, you are now saving days and days of work, and now that time can be spent doing better things, right? Someone's job really, it's not much fun just copy pasting Excel columns for 5 hours a day. Now, and then just to kind of touch um, on the tool is really when using Power BI, the preferred method obviously would be to connect directly to the data, but there's times where that's just not possible depending on what you're trying to connect to. But generally, those tools always have the ability to export to an Excel or CSV file or a JSON file. But really, whenever someone is spending hours manipulating, transforming, deleting rows, creating tables, doing all that inside of Excel sheets, that can all be automated in Power BI, where it's Power BI doing all that work for you, just connecting to those Excel sheets. So just to kind of show, you could produce these types of reports coming from CSV files. Here's another quick example of just a folder with a bunch of different CSV files, and you can go from this to this without having to do any work in the actual CSV or Excel file. So once you have your next month of sales in this scenario, you would drag and drop that latest month of sales into this folder, and then the next time your report refreshes, it'll do all that work for you and just clean up the data and then just produce nice dashboards for you. So a lot of times, whether it's legacy tools, ERP or CRMs, HR software, finance software, some of these tools might not let you directly connect to them, but it's very rare that those tools don't have the ability to export to CSV or Excel, or can have a scheduled email export of a CSV or an Excel document. And as long as it can do that, you can still produce really nice graphs and reports, even though you can't directly connect to the data. In a perfect world, whenever you can, that's obviously the preferred approach. But just because you can't, it doesn't mean you can't still produce really nice reports like this. So I'll maybe stop there, but this is kind of a very high level overview of how all these different tools, whether it's SharePoint or Forms or Power Apps or Power Automate, Power BI, how they all start working together, and some of the neat things you can do with them. So I'll maybe hand it over to you, Sheridan. I'll skip ahead to.
Great. Thanks, Jordan. That was such a great overview of the power of these business automation tools that are available to us. As mentioned earlier, Broadview Academy focuses on training staff to use the technologies that are available to us. I'll just get you to advance the slide one more,
Yeah.
Jordan, for me, please. So we do offer several data analysis courses ranging from Excel levels 1, 2, and 3, data analysis and visualization using Microsoft Excel. This course is extremely popular because it really allows, it goes beyond, just analyzing the data to provide insights and opportunities, but also teaches you how to present and effectively communicate the findings in very visually compelling ways. Then we've got Power BI. There we go. Analyzing data with Power BI. So this, again, really dives deep into creating visualizations. This course is 3 days in duration, and it is an excellent, people come out of this course just having so much more knowledge, and they're able to start using the tools right away. So um, it is 3 days, so it is a lengthy course. I should just mention too, the majority of our courses range from 1 to 3 days. You can go ahead and advance the screen, Jordan, thank you. And then we do offer SharePoint training for site users, site owners, and an advanced site owner that includes some workflow administration and additional tools. So our courses, here we go. We do offer more than just data analysis courses. We offer courses in all of the Microsoft applications, other applications such as Publisher, QuickBooks, Adobe. I'm not going to go through every one here. We don't have a lot of time left, but and also workplace skills. And we are seeing a lot of interest in courses such as diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI training, leadership training. We offer project management, and then of course technical training, many different technical courses that are available to you. So our courses can be delivered in person with a live instructor or virtually. All courses are live instructor led, and we can also offer blended courses. So many companies have some employees who wish to take their courses in person and some that wish to take them virtually from their office or from home. So we have the capability of offering blended courses. We do offer both private and public courses. Our private courses is our main focus. We have group discounts available. Our training can be held in our training facility located in the Exchange District or at your location. There's no difference in cost, whether it's delivered at our location is yours, and we need a minimum of 2 students to run a pub or a private session. If you go to our website, broadviewacademy.ca, you can see all of our public courses that are offered. We have many different courses running each month where individuals can join and just pay online and join either virtually or in person. So we do, as I mentioned, have our training facility located in the Exchange District. state-of-the-art computer room. All of the computers are set up with whatever applications you are being trained on. Um, it is located downtown, and we also have a separate training room located in the same location at 167 Broadway that is used primarily for workplace skills. It's quite a nice, bright open space with kind of geared towards collaboration and interaction with the participants. So I'm going to allow the next few minutes for questions. As I mentioned, Jordan and I are both available after the meeting. If you prefer to reach out directly, you can just email us or phone us. The phone number is listed here on the screen. Um, we'd be happy to set up a Teams meeting with you to chat a little bit more about our offerings through Broadview Networks and Broadview Academy. So does anybody have any questions for us at this point?
And then maybe I'll also just add one kind of quick thing to just kind of touch on the whole kind of training aspect. So as it was mentioned through Broadview Academy, there's that more structured based training where you're actually going through an actual course with training material. There's some other options where it would be more with someone like myself, where there might be a smaller 1 to 2 hour tailored workshop on a specific topic inside of one of these tools like SharePoint or Power Apps or whatever. Or there's also the ability for some one-on-one mentoring, where someone like myself would be there to help you work on these things, whether you're doing them in SharePoint or kind of apps or flow. So what sometimes happens is someone takes the training, and then once they start to actually build these things, they might want some advice, a second set of eyes, or have someone there to kind of help them throughout some of the roadblocks that they might have. And then that's where someone like myself would come in.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for pointing that out. I should mention as well that one-on-one training is also available. So we have a lot of people who there's just one person who from an organization that would like to learn something like Power BI or advanced SharePoint. So we can certainly set up one-on-one training. Both it's available both virtually and in person. I'm not really seeing any questions coming up. Um, I hope you all found this informative, and please do reach out. I'd be happy to send you. We have a quick reference course list of all of the courses that we do offer. We also have specific curriculum outlines available for anybody who would like to have a look at, in a little bit more detail about what what the curriculum looks like. Um, so thank you again for joining us today.